I am Jen Wilson from IamJenWilson.com, here to take you through your Pilates session this morning. I'm going to ask you to get a cushion or a pillow, or if you have one of these, a little mini Pilates ball, then you can use a mini Pilates ball for today's session. As always, if you have got anything going on in your body, any aches, pains, recent pregnancies, please get in touch with me for individual advice so that we can make sure that your session is really suitable and tailored for you. If you do something here and you think, don't get that, didn't feel that, get in touch with me as well and I can talk you through anything at all that you need to clarify. But we're going to bring yourself down onto your back. Get yourself comfortable. And just rock the hips out a little bit from side to side, bring the knees into the chest, take a few circles in one direction, a few circles in the other direction, just easing out anything at all that feels a bit niggly. So if you're doing this first thing in the morning, warm up the joints as well. So circle rounds, the ankles, the hips, the knees. Don't do any kind of intentional exercise without moving the body to make sure that it feels good before you start. Obviously, if you've been up and moving around for a couple of hours, you'll be absolutely fine to come in and start your Pilates session. So we're going to start off feet down on the floor, hands rested to the sides. Chin slightly tucked in so that the back of the neck's nice and long. Pressing the feet down, pressing the shoulders down. So we're starting to get some connection in the body. We want to draw the tummy muscles in. So we're getting a flattening and narrowing through the waist. We're not sucking the belly button into the spine so that there's a cave here. We want to create tension so that there's a flattening and narrowing here. We take an inhale. As we exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone under to push the lower back into the floor. Press the feet and the shoulders in. Come up into your first shoulder bridge. So see how the spine feels as you're lifting up. Check that your feet are in a good position, that you feel well supported. Inhale at the top, exhale, keep the tailbone tucked under as we roll the spine all the way back down. So the first couple we're checking in to see how the body feels on today's session. As you're bringing those hips up to the top, make sure that your chest is coming closer to the chin, that you're not moving your head away and straining into the neck. Inhale at the top, exhale, gently roll yourself all the way back down. So this is feeling really good. We're going to bring your cushion or your ball in. If this feels really tight or really effortful, then just keep going with those moves that we were just doing. So cushion in between the thighs or your ball in between the thighs. So you want a cushion that's thick enough that you've got enough space to squeeze in and you'll feel your inner thighs working. So I have to fold my cushion in half to get that. So back into your shoulder bridges, we're squeezing and pushing them hips up to the top. So we're working those inner thighs a little bit more here, working the backside a little bit more. Inhale at the top, exhale, come all the way back down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, rolling it up. Inhale at the top, exhale, roll it back down. Let's go for 3 more. Big squeeze, really press the feet and shoulders down, keep the backside nice and tight. All the way back down. Now the next one that we're going to do, we're going to hold at the top. So bring that back down, prepare yourself mentally. So the next one we're bringing up, we're holding at the top. We're going to drop the hips very slightly and then squeeze them back up. Drop down, squeeze them back up. So really working into your backside here. Slight release of the butt cheeks, big clench. Slight release, big clench. So we're going for another 5. So keep that going. If you feel any discomfort in your lower back, check that the tailbone is tucked under and maybe drop the hips a tiny bit lower and don't push up quite so high. Last 2. Hopefully your butt is burning. And then bring those hips all the way down. Take the cushion out to the side, hug the knees into the chest, and just take a little rock from side to side. Bring the feet back down onto the floor. So taking this cushion again, Okay, mine's a bit on the thin side, so I need to fold it in half. I'm going to lift my backside up so that my tailbone is resting onto the cushion, so hips are lifted off the floor. So this isn't on your back, it's on your tailbone and on your butt cheeks. Tummy's drawn in nice and tight. We're going to bring one knee up into tabletop, have the shin parallel to the floor, hands are rested down to the sides, bring the other leg up. And we're just going to hold here. So think about pulling those toes back and imagine that there's a wall in front of you that you're pressing the feet into. And as you imagine that, hopefully hamstrings and backside are going to fire up a little bit more here. We're bracing through those tummy muscles as well. Get that flattening and narrowing through the waist. Lightly press the shoulders down into the floor. We're going to hold here for another 4 breaths. So keep that breath nice and smooth. Exhaling it out, bracing things in. Then we're going to let the movement hinge from the hip, so the angle of the knee is not changing. We're going to hinge, let the heel come to the floor, and then bring that back up. And then do the same thing on the other side. So the tummy staying really tight here, and the pelvis is not moving. So the cushion is going to give you a little bit of support, but it's also causing a little bit of instability here. So the cushion anybody can use. You could also do this with your hips resting into the floor, but for some people, if they've got too much lordosis or really deep curve in the lower back, it can be a bit uncomfortable and their pelvis can shift about a wee bit. So this is a double win using the cushion underneath your butt. So heel just taps down, comes back up, tummy nice and tight, backside tight. Still imagine that wall in front of you that you're pressing the foot into, really activate the muscles in the legs. One more to each side. You can hold on to the pelvis to check it's not moving if that is useful. And then bring the feet back down onto the floor, lift the hips up, take the cushion out, and give yourself a little release. Right, cushion, going back between the knees. Pressing the knees into the cushion. This time we're going to take the elbows out in line with the shoulders, and the hands are coming onto the ribs. So your 4 fingers are coming towards the front of the ribs, thumbs going round towards the back. That's just so that we can hold onto the ribs and make sure that we're not getting any movement there. We're still pinning these shoulders down into the floor. On an exhale, you're taking the knees towards one side. So as I'm taking my knees to the right, my left foot is completely coming off the floor because my knees are still pressing into that cushion. I'm inhaling, coming back up, and I'm exhaling, taking the knees to the left. So you can see my foot's lifted, but this side of my ribs and this shoulder are not coming off the floor at all. This rotation's all coming from the waist. Inhale it back up, exhale it, take it over. Now if your ribs are trying to lift, maybe you're tight through the waist, so that might mean that your movement's a bit smaller from one side to the other. Or you might be somebody who's got a really long waist and a lot more rotation, and your knees might go closer to the floor. So everybody's going to be completely different. Torso length is going to be influential. Any tension in the back is going to be influential. It's not to do with your strength. Squeeze those tummy muscles in as you come up. So imagine that you're using the muscles in the waist as your lever. So you're catching the pelvis and then using them to pull the pelvis back. So really pull in at the waist. The next time you come over, see if you can straighten that top leg out, bend it back in, come back up through the centre. So that's just taking a tiny bit more load into the waist. If that felt like it was pulling anything in your back, don't have it in. Bring it up, taking it over, get that rotation for the waist, extend the leg out, come back in, up, over, extend the leg out, bend, one more to each side. Pull those tummy muscles in all the way, keeping the breath nice and smooth. Last one over. Bring it back to the centre, take that cushion out, let the soles of the feet come together, let the knees drop out. Bring the knees up into the chest, take a little rope from side to side. Feet back down onto the floor. So still working into the waist. We're going to take this into a part bicycle. So we move the hands up so that the hands are in towards the back of the skull. So we have them there so that we can help lift the weight of some of the head. If you're really strong through the front of the body, then maybe you bring the fingertips to the side and don't take some of the weight in your hands. Elbows out wide, shoulders pinned down to the floor. Pelvis in its neutral position, so lower back's in its natural curve. Bracing through those tummy muscles, get that flattening and narrowing through the waist. Press the feet down onto the floor so that you're activating the legs, back, spine and pelvic floor. Or an exhale, opposite knee and elbow come to meet towards the centre. We inhale all the way back to the floor and exhale to the other side. Now the knee, as it comes up, the knee stops over the hip. We're not bringing the knee all the way in. We want these tummy muscles up here to work hard to bring the upper body up and across. Take the head back to the floor so that releases the tension in the neck, but also works those tummy muscles a little bit harder because they switch off as you come back to the floor, and then you need to switch them back on to activate to come back up. So brace, bring it up. On the exhale, take your rotation, inhale it back to the floor. Do that one more time each way. And then take a breather. Stretch it out. Get yourself nice and long. Now we're going to keep our body long here. Have the toes pulled back as though you're trying to press the feet away and dig the heels into the floor. Bring your hands to shoulder width. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to bring the arms over, tuck the chin into the chest, squeeze into the tummy muscles to bring ourselves up, and then come forwards into a release. Inhale, sit back up. Shoulders drop back and down. Scoop the tummy muscles in as we roll all the way back down onto the floor. Control all the way. Now, if you get to here and think there ain't no way of getting up today, elbows down, give yourself a little bit of a nudge and come up from here. If you're rolling back and you get to here and then you're just collapsing onto the floor, bend the knees, hands into the thighs, and slowly slide your way back. So focus on getting those tummy muscles working as you control it back. And then all the way back. So really dig the heels into the floor. It can help to look towards the horizon all the way up. And all the way back. Focus on the horizon rather than thinking about, oh my God, what am I doing? The other thing that you can imagine is that you've got a rope and that's what's helping you up. So whatever works for you. Elbows, horizon, imaginary rope, whatever. So the next time we come up, we're going to stay up. Ooh. And then you're going to bend the knees to bring your feet flat onto the floor. So sit up with a nice tall back, hands onto the shins. Shoulders drop back and down. Tummy muscles are helping hold this posture. Then you're going to let it slump. And then we're going to draw tummy muscles in to bring it back up. And then let it slump. And then bring it up. So as you're bringing it up, think about that bracing, flattening and narrowing through the waist. And then let it slump. And then try and do that without holding on to your legs. So as you come here and you think, oh my God, that's really tough, just bring your hands back onto your legs and let it slump. Bring it back up. And then let it slump. 2 more times. Up. And slump. And up. And slump. And then bring it up. Now we're going to take this into rotation. So either one hand on the shin, other hand's coming out. We turn and lean back. Bring it up and bring it in. Or you can have both hands up. So rotate, lean back, up and in. So if you feel it in your lower back at all, hold on with the opposite hand just to give you that little bit of support as you go round. And you might need the support on one side and not on the other. absolutely fine. Gliding round. So maybe we inhale as we take it back and exhale as we come back up. If it feels better to exhale as you go round and inhale back up, then do that. One more to each side. Bring it up, let your upper body lean into the legs. From here, we're going to come into side lying. So come onto your side. Have your shins parallel with the front of the mat. Knees in line with the hips. Feet flexed as though you're pressing the feet into the floor. So we've got 90-degree angle at the ankle, the knee, and the hip. Upper body is rested down. Now you can either use your arm to rest your head on or use your pillow, whichever works better. Ear in line with the shoulder, in line with the hip. Tummy muscles are drawn in here. So imagine that you're trying to get your waist slightly lifted off the floor. Again, some people will have a gap there, some people won't. Just depends on the shape of your body. Your top hand, we're going to bring that in to rest at the back of the pelvis. So sit it on where the flat part is, where your tailbone comes down. And we've got our hand there so that when we come into lifting this leg, we can check that as we're lifting, we're not rolling all the way back. We want to keep the pelvis stacked on top of each other. So we're only taking that leg up as high as we can keep the pelvis stacked. Let's get those tummy muscles in. One part of the breath, we squeeze the leg up. The next part of the breath, we bring the leg down. So maybe you inhale up and exhale down. Maybe you exhale up and inhale down. Whatever feels right for you. So next time, bring the leg up, extend it out, bend at the knee, bring it down. We're going to do that 4 more times. So up, extend out, bend, bring it down. Keep the breath nice and smooth all the way through. Keep the tummy tight. Check that your rib cage is not pushing forward. I've lost count, so we might have one more. Sorry. Bring it down, let it rest out. Give the leg any movement at all that feels nice. Ooh. Right, turn it over, do the other side. So set yourself up. Shins parallel to the front of your mat. 90, 90, 90. Ear, shoulder, hip. Tummy muscles drawn in, try and get that waist slightly lifted. And into the back of the pelvis. So as we come to the other side, this might feel different. So if it does, work within the range that this side allows. And if it doesn't, just work to the same range. So squeezing up, squeezing down. Remember, one part of the breath up, next part of the breath down. Oh, right, next time we come up, we're going for that leg extension. So up to the top, push the heel out, bend at the knee, bring it back down. Take it up, push it out, bend at the knee, bring it down. Up, out, in, down. 2 more, up, out, in, down. Last one. Ooh. Bring it down, let it rest. Give the butt a little bit of a rub. From there, come over onto your tummy. Legs lengthened out, toes pointed away if you can. If your ankles are tight, pop your cushion underneath your feet so that you've got a little bit of cushion in there. We're going to bring the hands so that they're just outside the position of the head, elbows are out wide. This is going to be our start point today. Shoulders here naturally want to slump forward, so we need to activate the upper back, draw the shoulders down away from the ears, shoulder blades coming back towards each other. When we're on our tummy, we still want to brace those abs, so imagine you're trying to lift the belly button off the floor. And again, some people will, some people won't, but it's engaged. Take an inhale. As you exhale, come up. If you can bring your arms up, brilliant. If you can't, also brilliant. Keep your hands on the floor. hold to inhale, exhale, control it back down. Now, if that felt okay, you can take your arms to square position. So open the hands a bit wider, bring it up, squeeze it back. If that feels really heavy and you want to bring your hands all the way in, you can bring your hands in, keep your hands on the forehead, and come up from there, or hands down and up from there. So we're going for another 4, so whichever option you want to do. We pause at the bottom to inhale, we lift on an exhale, we pause at the top to inhale, we slowly come down on an exhale. Last one. And let that rest. Rock the hips a little bit from side to side. Bring the hands under the shoulders, send the hips all the way back. Into child's pose. Come up onto the hands and knees. So last exercise. We're going to come into plank from here. So we start in kneeling tabletop. Make sure here that your elbow pits are facing each other. You're not pushing them forwards. I don't want to hyperextend the elbows or put any pressure onto the shoulders. Your eyes are looking about a foot ahead of the fingertips. Tailbone slightly tucked under, bracing through the tummy muscles. You take one leg out, push the ball of the foot into the floor, press the heel away. And then maybe you stay here in half plank, just bracing. That might be enough for you. So if it is, stay here for 2 or 3 breaths and then switch sides. If you want to come into full plank, we extend the other leg out. And think about distance from the top of the head all the way to the soles of the feet. And hold here for 3 or 4 breaths. So remember, if you're doing half plank, you just other knees down and you hold here. Hold for another 2 breaths if you can. Everything nice and tight. And then let the knees come down. Send the hips back. Circle of the wrists. If you want to do any more planks, feel free, pause the video, do some more planks. If you're done with your planks, we're going to cat and cow stretch. So from your tabletop position, tuck the tailbone under, bring the chin into the chest, big deep breath in at the top. As you breathe out, let the belly drop down, coming into cow, so let the spine relax, lift through the chest, looking straight ahead. Take a big inhale there, and then move through that as many times as you feel like you need. And then when you're done, let it drop back to child's pose. And just take a few deep breaths. If there's anything else that feels like it needs stretched out, stretch out. Do that. So as always, any questions? I am jenwilson.com. On Instagram, I am .jenwilson. See you soon.